How do tip credit laws differ for tipped employees by state? Imagine working in a restaurant or bar and wondering how much of your wages are protected by law. The rules about tip credits can change from state to state, making it tricky to keep track. Today, let's look at how these laws differ across the country. At the federal level, the Fair Labor Standards Act allows employers to pay tipped employees as little as $2.13 per hour, called the tipped minimum wage. Tips must make up the rest to reach the full federal minimum wage of $7.25 per hour. The difference of $5.12 is known as the tip credit. States have their own rules about tip credits. Some states, like Alabama, Arizona, Florida, New York, Texas, and Virginia, allow tip credits but set their own minimum wages for tipped workers. These can range from around $2.13 to over $5 per hour. Employers must ensure that the combined wages and tips meet or exceed the state's minimum wage, which is often higher than the federal level. Other states, including California, Oregon, Washington, Minnesota, Montana, Alaska, Nevada, and Massachusetts, do not allow tip credits at all. These states requiring employers to pay tipped employees the full state minimum wage, regardless of tips. For example, California's minimum wage for tipped workers is $15.50 per hour, with no tip credit allowed. Some states have special rules. Hawaii, for instance, requires that the total of wages plus tips be at least $7 more than the minimum wage. New Jersey requires employers to inform tipped employees about the wages and tip credits claimed, and employees keep all their tips unless they are part of a tip pooling arrangement. North Carolina asks for signed certifications from employees about their tips before applying the tip credit. Connecticut allows tip credits for bartenders and hotel staff but sets specific minimum wages and maximum tip credits for these roles. The amounts of tipped minimum wages and maximum tip credits also vary. Michigan's tipped minimum wage is $4.74, with the goal of reaching a full minimum wage of $12.48. Ohio's tipped minimum wage is $5.35 for larger businesses, with a full minimum wage of $10.70. These differences mean employers need to stay on top of their state laws to avoid wage violations. Employers should pay attention to their state's specific rules. They need to make sure that total pay, wages plus tips, meets or exceeds the full minimum wage. They also need to follow notification or certification rules, like informing employees about tip credits or getting signed tip certifications. Clear policies about tip pooling and distribution are important, especially in states that allow or requiring tip pooling. In summary, tip credit laws change depending on the state. Some states allow tip credits and set their own rules, while others requiring paying the full minimum wage, regardless of tips. Employers must understand these differences to stay compliant and ensure their employees are paid correctly.